Overwatch 2 Season 9, big hotfix patch coming in. So let's go see who got nerfed. Zenyatta, hopefully. Tanks. Let's get some hitbox lowerings. Yeah, let's go see what changes they have in store for us today. CarQ, as always, making the best videos, so we're just gonna go watch his, and yeah. If you're not followed the CarQ, sub to his channel, go do that now. Best vids.
1 week of season 9, we've had a lot of fun, but they have already put out a
Super
hot
fun
fix patch addressing things like Widowmaker performing 10% better in terms of accuracy across the board. That's too much, so I'm glad they're nerfing that.
Yeah.
Along with nerfs to other heroes like Zenyatta and buffs
definitely
to
needed.
Lari. We got a lot to go
Lari
through.
needed some
Let's get
buffs.
started. Diva's light gun base projectile size is reduced from 0.35 meters to
Oh, if you guys have not seen, yeah, the hitboxes on tanks, absolute bonkers. The boop, yeah, you're getting launched into Valorant when you get booped by a Lucio, which, I mean, it's kind of funny, but I guess that's okay for Lucio, but it's kind of wild if you haven't looked at the boop distance.
to 0.3 meters. That's a 14% reduction in its size, which means you can't remech as quick if you're not landing as many bullets.
I mean, probably
Roadhog
still
is
hidden.
kind of in a rough spot, so he's getting a buff to his Take a Breather, where his damage reduction is going to be increased from 40% to 50%.
I don't know if this is going to change much for Hog, because the problem with Hog is you still have the DPS 20% healing passive, so your breather isn't giving you as much sustain. The damage reduction is nice when you're using it, but I feel like you're still just, with the bigger projectiles, you're still getting hit by everybody. So, I mean, I still don't think Hog is moving up in my tier list rankings. I think he's still at the bottom with Malga and Ryan, but
That being
it's a
said, I
buff
still think he's
nonetheless.
pretty bad. For Zarya, the particle cannon primary fire damage, that's the beam, the damage is going to be increased from 85 to 170 to 95 to 190
Zarya
damage
buff
per second. So the minimum damage when you're at 0 energy, 95, and when you're at 100 energy, you're doing 190 DPS.
I mean, that's pretty good. I guess you can start using that as like a counter to Junker Queen, but I feel like Zarya is probably only used. I mean, I guess Orisa too if you're playing against an Orisa. Zarya got a little bit big of a buff there. I guess we'll have to wait and see today how she plays in ranked. I guess I can use her against Orisa and see how it goes. But yeah, let's go see.
For Hanzo, his base projectile size is going to be reduced from 0.2 meters to
yeah.
0.1.
Hanzo logs pretty insane with the new projectile thing, so yeah, he definitely needed some reduction here. That's for sure.
75 meters. That's a 12.5% reduction in his log sizes. So instead of shooting redwoods, he's maybe shooting oak logs now. Junkrat was probably the worst DPS on the Season 9 patch, so he's going to get some...
And Junkrat and Symmetra. Okay, dude, please don't say that they gave him his one-shot back. I'm going to lose it if they give him his one-shot back.
Buffs here. Concussion Mine. The
okay,
cooldown
concussion.
for charge is going to be decreased from 8 to 7 seconds. And the damage is going to be increased from a range of 20 to 110 to 55 to 120. So now your mines will be doing a lot more, even if you whiff completely at 55 minimum. And if it blows up in their face, well, 120 damage is not bad, but still not within the one-shot burst combo range that it used to be. But that just might be how Junkrat is from now on. Soldiers have...
I think that's good. Okay, sure. They can get him close to a one-shot, so you still have to hit multiple things, but I don't think Junk should ever have his one-shot back. That's just dumb. They got rid of all the other one-shot abilities except for Widow headshots, and I think that's the best like possible situation for Overwatch, is that Widow headshots with full charge are the only things that one-shot, and then everything else that's just like a spam ability, right, should not be able to one-shot. So I think that's it's good that they're keeping it in the realm of, you know, not one-shot abilities. I mean, if somebody gets low, right, you have another DPS. If they get low, then you still can double tap them, but yeah. All right, okay, soldier nerfs. Interesting.
76, a really good DPS on this patch so far, so he's going to get some nerfs. The heavy pulse rifle projectile size is going to be reduced from 0.08 meters to 0.05 meters wide. That's a 37.5% size.
37.5% size reduction? Wait, soldier Dude, that is wild. That is a crazy minus. I don't even really think Soldier was that strong compared to like the Sojourn one shots, Ash Dynamite. Because every time like I'd play against a Soldier, right, as a tank, I would just dive him, and then he can't really do much. Like he's just a easy kill target. So I never really noticed that Soldier was that strong, but I could see it maybe in like lower ranks. He's probably just getting consistent damage for free and like zero contestability.
Reduction relatively speaking, so it's quite a hefty nerf there.
Yeah.
Tracer, one of the best DPS heroes on the Season 9 patch, gonna get some
Agreed.
nerfs here. The Pulse Pistol minimum fall-off range is gonna be reduced from 12 meters to 10 meters. So in a side-by-side, if you play at 12 meters now in the new patch compared to the old one, you'll be doing significantly less damage because it started to taper off at 10 meters.
I think this is good. It forces Tracer to get in a lot closer, so then you have more counter ability. Because yeah, Tracer definitely was the #1 DPS on this patch, so I'm okay with these nerfs. They're not nerfing like her damage, so like you're still can do the same amount of damage. You just have to get closer, so then there's a little bit more counter ability, right? But if you have good movement, then or good positioning, like this, you're not really going to notice this, too much for good players. But I think this is good. This is a good nerf.
12 meters. Widowmaker's Widow's Kiss, that's the name of her weapon. The projectile size is going to be reduced from 0.08 meters to 0.05 meters.
Okay.
That is a 37.5% size
like
reduction.
this.
Thank God, I hate Widowmaker players. And her scope shot's damage fall off range.
True Karku, true Karku. That's facts, dude. Ever get on a Widow map, you don't have a Widow, it's over. So yes, screw Widow players, even as a tank. They're good, make it harder for them to hit. But I still like they have like the one shot, so it's just harder to hit the one shots. But a good Widow player still hitting the shots still has the same whatever like value, so it just promotes being good.
Is going to be increased from 40 to 60 to 50 to 70 meters. That's actually a buff. That means you'll be doing more damage at longer ranges, 10 extra meters. Illari, one of the weakest supports on the patch, getting some love here.
All right, Illari was definitely one of the weakest. So let's go see what buffs they have in store for her.
Here, the healing pylon cooldown is going to be decreased from 8 to 6 seconds.
That's huge.
And the cooldown when destroyed by enemies is going to be decreased from 15 to 12 seconds.
That's pretty
Captive
massive.
Sun Ultimate, the Sunstruck explosion damage is being increased from 120 to 160.
And the Sunstruck explosion now has damage fall off again, which means it does reduce damage by up to 25% if you're at the far tail end of the explosion. Lucio, who has...
I don't know if that's enough. Okay, Illari is really strong in poke comps if you're doing like the Sigma, and then it's like Bapillari, like slow poke compositions, right? So I don't know. I don't think that's gonna be enough. Just because I think in the currents, like your tank's gonna die because the hitboxes are so huge. It's like a rush meta. So Lucio being really strong, that you have like whatever, Kariko, Zenyatta being OP, like Lucio Zen is kind of like a meta team comp, and you just rush with that because you get in close. So Illari, I still don't think is going to have that big of a value in the current meta, but I mean, it's a buff nonetheless, but I'd rather probably still see Lucio's speed engage comps being good. Unless they nerf speed here. I don't know, I guess we'll see the Lucio nerfs. What is it? Projectile sizes reduction, so that's just his left click, not
has been amazing this past
his abilities.
Primary fire weapon nerfed. The sonic amplifier base projectile size is going to be reduced from 0.3 to 0.25 meters, which means his green Oreos is getting a 16.5% size reduction.
Okay.
For Mercy, I think the training range clips got to Twitter and all of social media because the Caduceus Blaster, her Barbie weapon, the base projectile size is going to be reduced from 0.35 meters to 0.3 meters, a 14% reduction. Zenyatta, finally one of the biggest winners of this patch, gonna get some small nerfs here, where his base white health is gonna be decreased from 100 to 75, and his snap kick knockback distance is gonna be decreased by 25%. I will say, snap kick is still really good. You can do 75 damage to a person if they're discorded and you kick them.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so for this Zenyatta nerf, They didn't do anything about the damage. I mean, yeah, his health, so at least he can die easier. So that may or may not make a huge difference. The knockback potentially is like a buff, because now you can get like double kicks on people. Now they're not out of range. You can just like discord them and then kick them even faster. So who knows? Maybe that's even a buff for Zenyatta at some point. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to be enough. I would have liked to see maybe some like hitbox reduction on the tank, since everyone's got their projectiles bigger. Maybe the DPS passive, instead of being like 20%, it's like 15 or 10% heal reduction on tanks, just to try and like, because right now it's pretty much your tank gets shredded instantly. They have Discord Orb and there's no way you can heal them. So the only way you win, at least in higher ranked play, is like you have to take the fights fast. So you have to make a smart engage fast, and it's just, all right, we're inting on this person, and it's either we're getting the trades and we win or we lose. So, I mean, if they adjust the amount of like healing a tank can get, maybe that brings back some of like the more like range DPS kind of comps, rather than just needing to hard go in fast. Otherwise, like there's no way you survive. But overall, at least they're not doing like too drastic of changes. It's like small changes as they go. So as long as they do frequent changes like this, like they'll do this one, see how it plays, do another one within a week, I think that's probably the best way they can go about it. So honestly, these changes look good. We'll have to try out those tank ones, see if Zarya's any better. But I still think JQ, Ramatra, like rush compositions, Diva, still really strong, are gonna be still like the meta tanks. I still think Tracer, even with that like damage fall off, is still gonna be the best DPS. Probably Tracer, Sojourn, Tracer Genji, stuff like that.
Still good. I still think he's good.
Yeah.
That's it for this quick.
I think Zenyatta's still number one.
What you guys think in the comments?
All right. Yeah, but those are my views on the patch. So thank you guys for watching. If you're not subbed to YouTube, do that now. And until next video. Peace. Bye.